Hey, welcome. Do you feel lost and confused, wondering what your next step should be? Well, if yes, this video is packed full of information to help you understand why that is and what your next step should be. Hit the subscribe button and the bell so you'll be notified of new videos every time I post, primarily on Sundays, on how to overcome feelings of inadequacy so that you can develop self-confidence so you can show up authentically in your life and achieve those bold goals. These are the same exact steps I share with my clients to help them find clarity and purpose when they're feeling lost. So the question is, why do we feel lost in life? Well, there are a number of reasons. You may be feeling lost because who you are is not in sync with what you're doing. Or you may feel lost in life as a result of betrayal, trauma. You may feel lost because what you've worked so hard for and put all of your energy failed. You may also feel lost because everything that you once believed in, you suddenly found out to be false. Or you feel lost because you've lost everything. So if you're feeling lost in life, how do you find your way back to wholeness, to gain clarity and purpose, and then to move forward? Well, before you go to that part of moving to the next step, there are some key important steps that you should be taking at this point of your life where you are in a state of confusion, you lack clarity. So I want you to block out some time and take the following steps. First, engage in reflective activities. What do I mean? Reflective activities are any activity where you are not burdened in your mind, where your mind is not preoccupied with the to-dos, what next step to take, etc. It's activity where you let your mind be free to focus on beauty, to focus on nature. I find that taking long walks help me. I love nature. So when I need clarity, when I need to make key decisions, what my next step will be, I go for long walks because in those moments, my mind is unburdened. In those moments, I allow myself to be light, to focus on the things that my heart loves, on the things that I enjoy. So for you, find activities that you enjoy. Find activities that help you be light, but gives you an opportunity to just reflect. Reflect on life, reflect on beauty, where the attention is not on to do, but actually on just being. For some people, they may take up meditation. Some people like yoga. Some people, just like me, would like to take long walks or run. Something that just allows you to be as opposed to doing. Also, in this period where you're feeling very lost and you need direction, take on relaxing activities. For some people, that will be swimming. For me, I know you won't believe it, it's to have a shower. When my head is so full and I just need clarity, stop everything, just go take a shower. And I'll tell you the next step I take in the third step. But find whatever relaxes you that is not dangerous. Now, I'm not talking about alcohol. I'm not talking about any kind of device that is not healthy or good for you. But I'm talking about positive things that actually relaxes you. And that's so important in helping you calm down. Because again, we're moving the focus from you doing to actually being. And it's so important, this idea of being, in order to find yourself and to gain clarity. And I'll talk a little bit more about that a little later. What you want to do next in part of relaxing can actually be sleep. So the way my structure works is, like I mentioned earlier, I like to take long walks. Then I'll have a shower and I'll have a good sleep. Now, of course, you will probably need to repeat this cycle a number of times depending on how much clarity you need, how much time you need to actually just reconnect to who you are and what you want. But again, that relaxing activity could be to have a really good night's sleep or number of nights good sleep. The idea is to bring you back to actually being centered. Now, this next step is also very important. Plug into community, plug into your support network. That's so important. Make time to catch up with people who matter to you, people you care about, whether it be friends, whether it be family, whether it be maybe a professional support. But the idea is to plug into your support network. You want to create time to have more fun, to laugh, to sing, to just relax with people who are important, because in doing that you actually begin to reset yourself and you remind yourself and your subconscious of the things that are really important, the things that matter. Then, of course, if you're a spiritual person, I will definitely recommend that you connect to your spiritual side. Connect to spirituality is so important. I like to pray, and prayer actually helps me to unburden myself and helps me to actually focus on a power. I call him God, Jesus, to help me connect and focus on a power that is greater than myself, to actually also help me gain clarity. And so for you, if you're a spiritual person, this may be a good time to connect to whatever that spiritual sense that you turn to is, to help you gain clarity. Now, no doubt, all of the steps I outlined require time, and that is so key. It's the fact that if you're feeling lost and you need clarity in life, you want to give yourself time to stop. And I mentioned it a number of times earlier that the idea is not to do, but to be. And so you want to give yourself time to actually just be, to connect with your inner self, to connect with your feelings, your thoughts, to connect with what you want, to connect with those things that make you happy. And so in this part of your life, just let the world keep going, but you stop and be still. So what if you say to me, well, Christiana, you know what? I don't have time. Well, I'm sorry, I can't help you, because you do need time. If you're feeling lost in life, you need to stop. And that's the secret to moving forward and gaining clarity, is the fact that you need to stop and begin to do some deep work and some self-reflection and to just dig deep to get the next step you need and to gain clarity. Is all of this resonating? If it is, hit that like button so I know, and leave your comments in the comment section. And so when you've done those activities I mentioned earlier, the result is that you will feel rejuvenated, you will feel alive, you will feel more centered, you will be more clear-headed. And then the next step is what you need to start taking. So the first steps I gave you was to help you come back to wholeness. These next steps is to help you now find your way forward. So I want you to dig deep, and I want you to ask yourself the following questions. What do I like? What would I do if I knew that I couldn't fail? What kind of relationships do I want to cultivate? What kind of work would I like to do? How do I want to be treated? What do I not want in my life? Now, I want you to take a pen and paper and begin to make notes and begin to write out what you want. The feeling of feeling lost is like having a structure broken down. Everything has fallen apart. And so if you want to begin to find yourself again and move towards wholeness and clarity and the next best phase of your life, then you need to take this time to settle down and to begin to rebuild and begin to either put those parts together or begin to create something entirely new, but something that is especially right for you. And so the next steps following this is to now draw out a plan. I spoke to you earlier at the beginning about taking time to return to wholeness by getting involved in activities, and then also to go on now to begin to ask yourself those deep questions, digging deep. Now, I want you to take all of those things you wrote down, those questions you asked yourself, and now put a plan in place. It doesn't have to be anything dramatic and anything too ambitious, at least for this stage. But from those questions, now draw out a simple plan. And so your simple plan could be, okay, you know what? This is how I want to be treated. These are the kind of relationships I want to create. These are the kind of roles I would like to work in. Whatever that is, from those questions, now create a simple plan. And that's your next step to gaining momentum and to beginning to go in the direction you want. Now, once you've put that plan in place, I want you to now make down action steps that you need to take? What are the steps that will enable you to go from what those plans are to actually becoming reality? So, for example, do you need to start looking for a new job? So maybe it's time now for you to schedule some time to start job hunting if you want to change careers, for example. Or do you need to build a new kind of relationship? So what are the things you like? Where are the kind of places you will find those kind of people? And make down notes. Do you need to become a part of a community? Whatever it is, I want you to now start putting steps in place. Again, it's so important that you gain momentum. And so I don't want you to start thinking about big, grandiose plans that will cause you to freeze and stop and not take the actions. No, it's just the little steps that you can start taking right now. And like I mentioned, whether it's, okay, I need to get a new job. So the action step is on Monday, I need to schedule an hour to start job hunting, etc. So little steps like that. What are those steps you need to start taking? And then when you've put those steps in place, I want you to have scheduled check-in points. What do I mean by that? I want you to make a note of either monthly or quarterly or every few weeks to check in with yourself and with those goals and with those action steps. Where are you versus where do you want to get to? And so that you can find out if you're on track and if you're actually moving in the direction now of purpose, of creating something beautiful and something new from this whole experience of reconnecting to yourself and finding clarity. Did the steps help you? Let me hear you in the comments. What's even better, I want to invite you to join me for Audacious January. It's a one-to-one coaching session for yourself that I provide to help you gain clarity, direction, and motivation to start off the year knowing exactly what you want and how to go about achieving it with accountability. All the information is in the description box below. Subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified every time I post a new video on Sundays on how you can overcome feelings of inadequacy and develop self-confidence. Well, until I see you next week, I want you to check out these videos and grab a copy of my free gift to you, a free download to help you show up confidently. Now, I'm going to see you real soon. Until then, go out there and totally rock your week. See you soon.